Ah, southern France, the warm autumn breezes, the gentle wafting of local fare and the unmistakable clattering of two ladies fighting over their bric-a-brac. Welcome. Today we got up very early. We left the city behind us to come here to this lovely old town of Pezenas. Now this is an area well known for its carpenters, its ceramicists and its profusion of antique dealers. So it shouldn't be too difficult for our eager contestants today to pick up a bargain or two to sell back at home. And of all the places in southern France we could visit, Pezenas has got to be the ideal place to shop for collectibles. And if you're a lover of French history and culture, this is a great place to visit. About 30 years ago, Pezenas was awarded the title Ville d'Art, literally a town of the arts. It has a rich heritage, a profusion of street markets and an abundance of grand architecture. But will the past wealth of Pezenas offer up some present-day treasures? Well, let's hope so for today's teams, because they have just 2 days to scour the local foire aux bracontes, that's French for antique fair, with the aim of snapping up some real bargains. Then it's back home to Britain with those items to sell, hopefully for a big profit. I have £350 for each team, just burning a hole in my pocket, so I think it's time to meet today's teams. Today's two rivals are best friends Rachel and Helen, who both hail from Nottingham. But the fact that they've known each other for many years is not going to make this any less of a competition, as they're both eager to win. Team 1 pairs Rachel with our regular expert, Jonty Herndon. Rachel is a professional singer whose work has taken her all around the world. She's an avid collector of items from the 20s and 30s, whatever the weather.
I really like Moorish things, Middle Eastern art, kind of metalwork, fabrics, some pottery. I normally buy things from junk shops. I've never been to markets before, but yeah, if I just see something, sometimes it'll catch my eye. Sometimes a girl's got to have it.
Rachel's teammate Jonty is also well-travelled. He's a much sought-after auctioneer and is particularly clued up on 18th and 19th century French furniture, so he's not just a pretty face. Team 2 pairs Helen with our other regular expert, Mark Franks. Helen is a primary school teacher who specialises in drama education. She's also a fanatic when it comes to collecting Art Deco.
My great-granny had a china cabinet, and when I was really small, I used to stand peering in, looking at it, but I wasn't allowed to touch anything. And I think that probably set me off, really, because both my grandmother and my mother collect as well, ceramics mainly. So it's a bit of a matriarchal madness, I think.
Helen's teammate is professional antiques dealer Mark Franks. Mark has been an antiques dealer for many years and is no stranger to buying in France, as he makes regular visits here to stock up his shop. So now it's time to unleash our two teams on the first field of conflict, one of the many local street markets. Good morning, teams.
Morning, Chris.
Are you fit and ready for battle?
Oh, yes, yes.
Excellent. Well, thankfully, we're here nice and early. The stand holders are just setting up. There's a lot to see in shops, markets. Now then, Helen, what are you looking for?
Some Art Deco stuff, something interesting, beautiful and hopefully cheap.
Rachel, how about you?
Lamps, I think, functional things, carpets, lamps, that kind of thing.
Carpets?
Maybe.
Magic carpets.
Magic carpets, Jonty. Well, you're good with a magic carpet too, aren't
Well, I
you?
think we're good with lamps. I think we can find a few lamps here.
Looks like one or two of those are coming out.
Yeah, sure.
So who's the most competitive of you two?
Me.
Yeah, simultaneously. Well, I've got your money belts here. In each is £350. But when you see something, don't go rushing headlong into it. Just think to yourselves, is it collectible or is it rejectable? Here you are, Helen. Here you go, Rachel.
Thank you.
Belt up, girls. It's time to buy. OK, this is how it works. I've given each team £350. They have 2 days to buy at least 10 items to take back to the UK. Once back home, they have to sell all their items at an antiques market. The team that makes the most profit will be declared the winner. Rachel and Jonty are wasting no time at all.
These are made out of old cannon shells, First World War cannon shells.
First World War, wow.
Yeah. And that's exactly, you can imagine how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of these lying around the French countryside.
Yeah. So it's already been popped, as it were.
Oh yeah, these are dispensed
Right.
shells from the First World War. And what people have done is actually cut them down and hand chased and decorated both of these.
Right.
That's the base of the shell there. You see on the underside there, that's the bottom
Yeah.
of a live dispensed shell
Yeah.
case.
They're really lovely.
Now they're €53, so that's about sort of 30, 35 pounds, that kind of figure. I think they're really quite sweet and
They are nice.
they're a lot of fun.
Oh, these are a bit strange, Mark. What are they?
What they are used for is for catching eels, okay? So you'd have a long piece of timber
Yeah.
and you'd go into the river and you'd bosh and the eels would get caught up and these move to allow the eels to squeeze in. And looking at this sort of handmade, yeah, I think this is hand beaten. I'd say gotta be 100 years old. They're lovely, really nice decorative items.
Yeah,
Not too PC, are they?
No, they look a bit vicious.
Yeah, scary. And 140 quid, I think we've got to reject them.
Do you feel tempted by this?
I am actually, I am, because of the period particularly, and I think it's that pattern's lovely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's really well done, isn't it? It's kind of
Should we see what we can do?
nice bit of craft. Shall we?
Yeah. Bon, merci.
Pezenas and the surrounding area is well known for its antique and flea markets. Locals, tourists and dealers alike travel from far and wide to visit them. There are plenty of markets to choose from, and they take place most days of the week. Even when the markets are not on, there are an abundance of antique shops in the town where you can still pick up a bargain or two.
I've seen those in lots of interior magazines. Designers buy those and plonk them in big Conti flats.
I like the colour.
It's beautiful.
Nice glaze on it.
Yeah, the yellow really helps. It's 100 euros, which is about 70 quid. I think it's its real value. We're looking to make a profit, not just get our money back.
It's too expensive, but it's very
Yeah.
nice.
That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
Has a very sort of
It's
French
not-
feel, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it's not quite doing it for me, but I love those cloche hats.
I also really like this brassing. It's lovely, isn't it?
It is, but what is it?
Well, in France, they've got a thing called a notaire. Now, a notaire is very much like what we call solicitors, but they have shops in the high street, and they have these plaques outside. The more modern ones have got these ladies' faces or women's silhouettes on them. I reckon that's probably about turn of the century. I'm not 100% sure.
Well, this looks quite interesting.
That glass vase.
Yeah,
Yeah, the lovely colours.
beautiful.
Look how translucent that is.
Yeah,
Now this is inspired, all of this kind of glasswork, this sort of translucent effect like this, is inspired by an artist called Roger Gallet, who was around at the sort of turn of the century. And there are a lot of fakes around as
Yeah.
a consequence, because his original artworks and glassworks are now exceedingly expensive.
yeah.
But I think that's still very, very
quite
pretty.
nice. Is there a
It's
name
got
there?
it's got a signature, but this is what I would consider to be an out-and-out sort of fake. And
Right.
It's also brand new.
Really?
So I'm not really keen to encourage you to buy something
Okay,
like this.
fine.
But it matches your colour. Look, it's yours. It's your colour scheme. It's you all over.
The central part of the shield isn't in very good nick. The outside with the leaves and the acorns are lovely. That's fine. But I think it really is let down by the central part. So I think we should bat on.
I've got a bit of browsing of my own to do to find today's prize. And while in Pezenas, I'm keen to uncover a few of its hidden treasures. Pezenas lies about 15 kilometres from the Mediterranean coast and is the market centre for many of the surrounding towns and villages. The town was catapulted to glory in the 15th century when it was made the seat of Parliament for the Languedoc wine region. The wine producers from miles around would meet or have houses here, and the legacy of this illustrious past can be seen here today in the exquisite array of grand houses. But even some of the buildings with understated exteriors can have secrets to unfold. This lovely 17th century house was built by a local aristocrat. It is said that Louis XIV himself stayed in this very house. It's a perfect example of early French architecture. Just look at this balustrading and that lovely vaulted ceiling. But you know, it's very lucky for us that this building is here at all, because towards the end of the First World War, an American came to town and offered the owner 100,000 francs. That's £10,000 and an awful lot of money in those days for the entire staircase, to dismantle it and take it to America and reassemble it there. Fortunately for the people of Pezenas and for us, his kind offer was refused. Perhaps one of the greatest of all French playwrights, Molière, made Pezenas his home in the mid-17th century. It is said that Molière would sit in one of the local barbers' shops observing the people of the town, who would later, unwittingly, become characters in one of his many plays. When you come antique shopping in a place like this, for heaven's sake, take some time off from buying, walk around town, because you just don't know what you're going to find. Look at this doorway. From this angle, it looks pretty strange. And from this angle, it looks even stranger because it is an optical illusion deliberately carved to be so. Take a look at the top of this pillar. From where I'm standing, it looks like a perfect diamond shape. But from another angle, it's perfectly square. It's called trompe-l'œil, deception of the eye. Absolutely crazy. Whilst I've been uncovering a few of Pezenas' treasures, I wonder if the contestants have managed to uncover anything back at the market.
Very typically French. This is 19th century, this plate. Now, when you're looking at a plate like this, always check for damage or restoration. When we're talking about restoration, it's where a chip has occurred and a restorer has literally sort of tried to fill it in to disguise that damage. Now, this hasn't got any damage around the sides, but I've noticed there's a huge chip in the middle here. Now, that to me would completely detract the value from a plate like this.
Right, yeah.
Now, the dealer wants over £300 for this plate, so I would not touch this with a barge pole.
No,
Right?
don't drop it.
I'm going to put it down quick.
Okay.
Hey, Mark, come over here and look at this.
Oh, you are a deco girl, aren't you, eh?
Certainly am.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Bit of marble. It's got a signature there. I don't take a lot of notice of that. That looks like it's been added at some later stage. It's bronze.
Right.
1930s.
I think somebody would go for that.
Should we go for it?
Yeah.
You happy? Let's
Yeah.
give it a go.
Our two teams aren't the only ones sniffing around. I've got some purchasing of my own to do. Later on today, I'll be setting the teams a question where they can win a bonus item to add to their stash. When they come back to Britain, the profits from the bonus item might just be enough to win someone the game. Well, here's a very nice piece for today's bonus item with some crumbs, because what this is a crumb tray. We see them all over the place in France, so particular the French about their clean tables. What we look for here is that the pattern on the brush must match the pattern on the crumb tray, because often it's a mix and match situation, which is what we don't want. Together, very nice indeed, but look at this. Look at this. Baccarat. A beautiful double salt cellar there, absolutely lovely. It says Baccarat on it, but I just happen to have my eyeglass here. We have to look for the sign. And, wait a minute, down here, let's have a look. Well, I can't see the sign of Baccarat, but I felt it. The quality is astounding. It's absolutely beautiful. No chips, no cracks. And a very close contender for today's bonus item. As both contestants seem to love the style and romance of the 20s and 30s, I'll keep my eyes peeled for an Art Deco gem. This, I think, would suit both of them. It's a little evening bag. Now, what we look for with beadwork is it all there? Well, obviously, something of this age is not going to be in perfect condition. So here and there are a few of these pretty little beads missing, but overall, you've got a lovely shape and great coloration here. It's dated about 1925, 1930, so it's got nice age, and the condition inside is great
That is an absolutely perfect item, I think, for either of them.
Sometimes what the dealer keeps in his van can be more interesting than what's on display. A black and white telly, Helen? Are you sure? It may be a design classic, but will it sell?
Look at this.
Wow.
This pulls out like this.
Oh, wow, look.
This is a secretary bureau.
And it's still got the key.
Yeah. I love things like this. It looks like a piano all folded away.
It did, didn't
And look, it's all so damp as well. Look, this
I
is
know, I can feel it. It needs a bit of tender, loving care.
Yeah. This is about 100 years old. So it's about 1880, 1890 in date. It's mahogany cased. And it's very, very French. You see
Yeah.
those reeded legs down there?
Yeah.
That's very typical French.
Is
Very,
it?
very late 19th century. And also the great giveaway here. If you look around the front here,
Yeah.
you notice there are no handles.
Yes.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Now, on an English desk, there'd always be handles.
Yeah.
But with French desks, they open it with a key only. So you have to have a key in there to open and close the drawers.
Oh, right.
So that's a really big giveaway.
Okay.
And also have a look, once you have a look inside the locks here, you have a look at the lock itself.
Yeah.
English locks tend to be slightly smaller. The actual tooth part tends to be slightly
okay.
smaller. So that's another giveaway when you're looking at French furniture as opposed to English furniture.
Okay.
There are certain things that really give it away,
Yeah.
and locks is one of them.
I like this, Mark. What is it?
Right, this is called a tester van. Now, a sommelier or wine waiter in a restaurant would have that hanging from a chain around his neck. And when they poured the wine out, they'd pour a tad in there, smell it, taste it, and if it was okay, they'd pour the rest of the bottle for you. They're 200 quid. Now, that sounds like a lot of money. It's got the French hallmark there. But interestingly enough, there are specialist auctions all over the country and all over the world, in fact, selling anything to do with wine. Corkscrews, these things. Anything to do with wine is hugely collectible. If we had a few more quid, I'd be buying these. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're about 200 quid each. It's a lot of money. I think we'll have to pass on those. We can have a look out for a deco corkscrew, though. A corkscrew recently sold at an auction for about £98,000.
Wow.
Let's go and find one of those.
Ah, now you see these top drawers don't actually open. Now, if we do this, all the way down, voila, the drawer's now open.
Ooh la la.
Oh, I've got a surprise for you, Helen. Come with me.
A surprise?
How
I
about
like
that?
surprises.
Well, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous?
Wow, I love it. Let's buy it.
Let's buy it. OK, we'll have it regardless of the cost, shall we? It's got a little signature on the back there. Now, what's it made of? Any idea?
Bronze?
No, it looks like bronze, but it's plaster. Check for condition, check for damage. There's a little chip off the front edge, look, Helen. But that's been glued back on quite nicely. We can live with that. What do you want to bid him?
How much is it?
80 euros, 56 quid. What do you want to bid?
60 euros?
You're a brave girl. I'm going to bid him 50. Wait there. He's gone to 60, Helen.
60, yes. I want it.
Vendu, monsieur. That means sold. OK, we'll have that. I think that's a great piece.
I love it.
1930s, great condition.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. 60 euros, fine. Give him the money. Go on, pay him.
OK.
Walking around the Foire Brocante, you aren't just going to find a great selection of antiques and collectibles, but plenty of colourful characters too.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
On vous le fait 75 €, dernier prix, s'il vous plaît.
Pardon?
75 €, madame, chère amie.
Ah oui.
My friend Pierre knows everything.
C'est un ami. Voilà, c'est mon ami.
C'est mon ami.
Voilà, il connaît la brocante, lui.
He's selling some nice furniture here today, Pierre, and he's going to retire in 2 years' time.
Après, on ira voir dans le camion. tous les
And he
deux.
wants all my money to retire with.
Yeah, can we take him?
Viens.
Merci, Pierre.
Viens ici, dans le camion, viens.
It looks like a Napoleonic hat going round and round and round, doesn't it?
It does.
Allez, monsieur, allez.
Pierre wants to show us.
Okay.
Donnée, là. Ici, la pub est donnée.
Or a wacky moustache.
Yeah.
This made my heart miss a beat. Look at it, isn't it fantastic? Look at the way the corners are cut, chamfered away. But do you know the main thing about this that really got me excited? The back. The back is finished. You could stand this in the centre of the room. This is a bedside table and it's fantastic quality. The only reason I'm not buying it is because of the top. Look at this marble. It should be followed round and it should have the same shape. This is a new piece of marble. It's been replaced, which is quite normal. But the detail on the marble has not been replaced to the same quality as it originally would have been. So I'm going to avoid this. It's a shame because I'd love to take this home. It's 100 quid and there's definitely a profit in it, but I'm going to leave it.
This is nice. Do you think this is repro?
Let's have a look. No, that's very 1930s. Fantastic bit of Art Deco, that marble base, brass.
Hey, Rachel. Hi. Warming up nicely, isn't it?
Wonderful.
Fantastic, isn't it?
So, what have you got there?
It's a 1930s letter rack.
Very
I
nice
think we
indeed.
could be on for another purchase if it's the right price.
I hope it's cheap.
Yeah.
How are you getting on? Are you spending up?
Well, we've only done 4 purchases, haven't we?
Right. Well,
Yeah,
have you looked
yeah.
in the shops yet?
No, haven't done that yet.
Well, you know, I'm just on my way there now because I might find today's prize well worth a look. See you later.
Okay,
catch you later.
bye.
No, let's go and find the price of this one.
No, I don't know. It's quite nice, but I think we should give it a pass. What do you
Yeah,
think?
no, I don't like it.
C'est beau, c'est beau.
Faut dire qu'il est
Mark,
Yeah.
Helen.
Hello,
look
mate.
at the jewellery.
Hi, Chris.
Not quite.
No, not your style, Mark. Helen, do you buy a lot of jewellery?
I do like jewellery,
Yeah?
vintage jewellery, yeah.
Like deco jewellery, perhaps?
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Talking of which, have you found any deco pieces here today?
We have, haven't we?
We're decoed out, mate. We've got
You're
so
decoed
much
we
out,
are
yeah.
the
At the right price?
Hopefully. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. You're at the great place. There's so much more to see. I'll catch up with you later.
Okay.
Ah, look at this, Rachel. How French is that? French cockerel, weather vane.
Very French, very
Now
rusty.
Rustique. Now he should be 100 years old, but he's not. You see how he's cut out?
Yeah.
Do you see how crisp those lines are?
Yeah.
Now that to me tells me that it's done really relatively recently.
Freshly cut.
Yeah. This is brand new. When I say brand new, it's no more than a year old. The other giveaway is look at the shape here of the S for the south.
Yeah, very simple, isn't
If
it?
that was to be 100 years old, that would certainly have a 19th century feel about the shape of the lettering.
Right, yeah.
I'm looking for all those telltale signs all the time
okay.
because it really matters. You know, if you're selling something, you need to know exactly what you've got
Yeah, yeah,
because you need to sell it with conviction.
yeah.
Mark, you know this chair I really like?
The one I don't particularly like.
Yes, and I do, and he wanted 40 for it, yeah? Well, he said that we could have this and this that I know you think is hideous, but it's on for 30.
No,
It's on
I think
for...
it's very hideous.
listen,
it's foul.
Da, 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 da,
It's one of the nastiest things I've seen in my
I know you don't like
life.
it, but he said we could have both of them for 50.
While Helen and Mark are at loggerheads, Rachel and Jonty are seeing eye to eye.
That is so stylish.
These have got Paris chic written all over them. Then
My head's starting to spin.
Well, I want it.
I think I'm going to have a lay down somewhere.
I want it.
Well, on your head bit, I think
Okay.
that's foul.
Well,
If it doesn't sell, I'm going to stamp on it and jump up and down.
Now, Mark, there's no need for that.
Oh, that's fantastic. That would look really good in the kitchen.
yeah, sort of Paris cafe
Yeah,
type feel about it.
beautiful.
I'm definitely
Madame,
going to...
c'est bon
Somebody would
or
like that.
C'est bon? She's lying. I don't believe a word of it.
Yeah.
Really kind of graphic,
Yeah.
stylised,
Imagine that simply framed in somebody's hallway or
absolutely
kitchen.
brilliant.
Yeah.
It's got more
It's
woodwork
great.
than the site
It's
with
great.
lots and lots of woodwork.
So you
Look
can
at
sit
it, it's
here, you know,
horrible.
little cup of tea on there.
Are you two still arguing?
Horrible madness.
No arguments here. Rachel and Jonty have snapped up 14 prints.
I don't agree, but if you want to buy it, we'll see.
I
If you can
really
make a
like the
profit,
chair.
if
I
you
really
can
like
sell
the
these
chair,
to
so
make a profit,
that's
I'll be
just a bonus.
surprised.
That's 10 or whatever, 10 euros.
Go for
so.
it. Go and buy it. I'll write it down.
Okay,
On your head bit, though.
okay.
So we're halfway through the day. Amongst Helen and Mark's purchases, I think their best buy, strangely enough, is the table and chair that Mark hates. But Helen got a great deal at just £35. The 70s TV set may be one to watch, but is there any profit left at £15? Rachel and Jonty haven't bought many items, but have spent a lot of money. The Deco light shade costs £70 and is a real beauty. The 1920s prints weren't cheap at £85 and will only make some money if the right collector just happens to walk by. All will be revealed when we set up stall on Portobello Road. As London's premier antiques market, there's bound to be some tough competition, not only between Helen and Rachel, but also from the professional stall holders who are there every Saturday, come rain or shine.
Little stocking filler, madam.
Whilst the teams are having a break, I'm taking a wander around Pezenas. One of the things I've noticed that makes this old town really unique is the huge variety of wonderful front doors. Doors were obviously a status symbol here, and no two doors are alike. The townspeople love them so much, they've even set up their own museum devoted entirely to the doors and door furniture of Pezenas. There are some fascinating objects in this museum that would give an interior designer loads of ideas. And doors aren't just for opening and closing, they can be an investment too. If you're thinking of coming to southern France and you've got a large enough vehicle, keep your eyes open for doors. These are a lovely pair of double doors here. They're 17th century, they're oak, and whilst there's some repair down here, they haven't been substantially altered at all over the years. Now, the value of these doors at home are several thousands of pounds. And if you're lucky enough to find the original ironwork on them, as these doors have, it'll be worth a lot more. Door furniture, too, can be worth a lot of money. If you ever see anything like the items in this museum, snap them up. They can be used as decoration, or if you like, if you live in an old house, to complement any original feature. Look at these wonderfully shaped hinges, which are appropriately called moustache hinges. Again, it's not uncommon to find things like these cropping up at French markets. Now, this is just the sort of thing you might find at these local antique fairs. What is it? It's a saw. Now, before these large circular saws you have today, what would they have used to cut up those huge trees? Well, one of these. Probably 2 people, possibly 4. Absolutely lovely. Won't be very expensive and just a nice novelty item. Well, you know, they call this a museum, but there's nothing at all stuffy about it. It's more the passion and the pride of the local townspeople. It's off the beaten track, and sometimes that's just where you've got to go to find the real treasures.
Hidden in the corner of this architectural salvage haven in the middle of France are these tiles. Now, what are they? Regular floor tiles? No, what they actually are what are called encaustic tiles. Now, let me explain what that means to you. You know when you go to the seaside and you get a stick of rock and it's got the name, for example, Brighton, and as you eat it, it still says Brighton all the way through. Now look, the yellow runs all the way through, the white runs all the way through, the red runs all the way through. If you had these tiles for 1,000 years and wore them away, the pattern runs all the way through as it would on a stick of rock. These will last many, many lifetimes. Now these are buyable at 300 quid for the lot. This would cover a huge floor area. If only I could fit these in my suitcase, these would be the best things to take home. These are worth a lot of money in the UK.
Break time's over and it's time to move on, which is just as well, as this morning's street market is packing up. It's time for a change of scenery. We've done outdoors. This afternoon, Pezenas' antique shops beckon. Well, girls, this is your last chance to spend your euros. How did you get on the market? Helen?
Oh, really good, actually. Yeah, I'm very pleased with the Art Deco objects that Mark and I found.
Excellent.
Yep.
Well done. How many pieces have you found, Helen?
More than 10.
More than 10?
Yep.
Well, that 10's the barest minimum we need. How about you, Rachel?
Not quite as many, but I'm really excited about some prints that I found.
Lovely. Now, just a reminder that later on, I'll be asking you a question, a very difficult question, to give you the opportunity to win that bonus item for your stands back home. And here's the clue. accessories. Okay. Think about that one.
Okay.
But here we are in Pezenas. There are 40 shops here, some great shops, plenty of opportunities to spend up your money. But first of all, find your experts. I'll see you later.
Okay, see ya.
See you. Finding the experts might be easier said than done. I don't think I have ever been anywhere with so many wonderful antique shops, but find them they must, as there is now just half a day of shopping left before we whisk them back to Britain to sell on their finds for maximum profit. Mark and Helen have already bought 10 items, so they can take it easy. Rachel and Jonty, however, have only bought 4 things so far and still have a big chunk of their £350 still to spend.
Helen, look at this. It's like an Aladdin's cave.
Wow.
Right, don't be fooled. It's not all cheap. That mirror works out to about 120 quid. I think that's all the money with that little bit of damage, so don't be too fooled.
It's nice.
550. 385 quid, that. A lot of money, honey.
Yeah.
Black's not that popular in the UK. It's not that popular.
Rachel, come here, come here.
Hi.
I think I've found something that's going to make us an instant profit.
Really?
Now, have you ever seen anything like this before? Have you any idea what this is?
Is it anything to do with horses?
No, it's a bell pull. This actually was hung inside people's houses, and this would attract the staff just by pulling on the end of that. Would ring the bell in the servants' quarters, and hey presto, here come the staff. These are very French. What do you think about that?
It's very beautiful.
Look at all the workmanship
It's
that's
really
gone into
lovely
that.
work, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, these originally came in the 17th and 18th centuries,
Okay.
and they continue to make them in exactly the same style.
Right.
And they're purely sold now as decorative items.
Right.
Just hang them on the wall like that.
Right, okay.
So you're actually buying, the whole lot is handcrafted.
Now look at this. You see this? This carving. This is lovely, and this lovely swirling, the flowers, the little details are very important. This is great. But one thing you've got to remember when you're buying beds abroad, and early beds even in the UK, is the chances are this is only 4 foot wide. Now, a standard bed in the UK, double bed, is 4'6". So this is for either 2 skinny people or 2 very good friends.
I think it's really lovely.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I've done a bit of a deal with the owner. So
Yeah.
have a look at this. What do you think about that? Now, that is a mannequin for a little doll, you know, somebody
Right,
actually making
to
dolls'
make clothes.
Yeah?
Fantastic.
And I just think it's novel, and
It is.
it's a bit of fun.
It is.
Problem is, it may seem like the floor's all grubby and everything's got dust and muck on it, but I think he's doing it in a very special way. He's making it look like an old car boots out and a load of junk, and it's not at all. He knows his stuff. His prices are quite keen, if not a bit strong. So we've really got to work hard to find a bargain here.
Okay.
Now, between the two, I've got
Yeah.
it down to about £70. And I think we
Right.
can make an instant profit on both of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think? I mean, I can imagine someone buying that in England, but
Yeah.
do you think they'd buy that in England?
Yeah, big time, big time. I think we could try and sell that for something like £90.
Really?
Yeah, and something like that we would try for like £40–60.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
And I've
You're
got,
confident?
and I've got £70 for the two.
Really?
Yeah. Are you happy to run with that?
Go on then.
Come on, let's do the deal.
Well, I think I share Rachel's reservation about that bell pull. 90 quid, Jonty. Pull the other one.
Now, we all think of antiques as an investment for the future, but believe it or not, antiques actually go down in value as well as up. Now, some antiques are more usable and user-friendly for the modern-day home. Now, an average desk will be going up in value and has been for the last 10 years simply because of the PC, the home computer. You can get the computer on there, the screen and the keyboard. Now look at this as an example. This is a secrétaire, which is very similar to a desk but much smaller. These items are not being used at the moment because you cannot fit a PC onto one of these. Now this is 1,500 quid. As PCs become smaller and smaller and smaller, this will go up in value. At the moment they're not that fashionable, but for 1,500 quid, in 5 or 10 years' time, you're going to double your money. An antique for the future. Now you may wonder why I'm holding this like a baby. The reason being, it's worth just over £5,000. This is Muller Frere. France is very famous for their different glass manufacturers. You've got Lalique, which you've probably all heard of. You've got Gallet, Dom, and you've got Argy Rousseau. Now be very aware, most of the flea markets will have reproduction bits and bobs knocking around. Avoid them. If you're going to buy this sort of stuff and lay out this serious sort of amount of money, and it will go up in value, go to a specialist dealer.
Rachel, Helen, have you spent out yet?
Just about. I think I've got just under €100 left.
Nice things here, aren't there?
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Lovely. How are you getting on, Rachel?
Just about spent up too.
Really? Have you had a nice time this afternoon?
Fantastic.
Excellent, excellent. Well, now, you know that bonus item I mentioned earlier on? Well, here it is. Ooh. Now then, there is this very tricky question involved here before either of you win it. And the question is, when I bought this earlier on, there was something in it. What was it? Helen, your chance to answer my question.
It was a mirror.
Mirror. Rachel?
Money?
Money. It would have been nice. You are the winner. There is a mirror in this. The item is now yours.
Ooh,
now then, the bad news, girls, is there's an hour left. Get to it. So, Helen and Rachel are in an ideal position, only a little of their budget left, but plenty of antique shops to find that last-minute bargain.
€100 is 70 quid, and how much have we got left?
75.
75 is roughly £52. So we're actually going to try and knock them down by 18 quid. It's quite a brave move, big percentage.
I think it'd be well worth it.
Ooh, I like those.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Yeah,
I've fallen in
fantastic.
love with those.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's two. I'm really lucky.
They're very 1930s.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm going to go and speak to him. You wait there a second, and I'll be back as soon as I can.
Great.
I love how frosted they are.
Yeah.
And this, you see the twist on it.
I think this could be our
Beautiful.
last purchase. What do you think?
I think this is it. I'm really relieved we've got one.
Time to do a deal?
Yeah. Come on.
What?
Guess what? Sold.
Really?
Right on there.
Brilliant. That's all our money.
Watch these cars. Oh, might get run over here.
Well, the teams have done really well and bought all their items. But there's still one thing that I've got to buy. I haven't bought the prize for the winner. It needs to be something that will remind both Helen and Rachel of their trip to Pezenas, and something that they're both going to like.
I've got £100 to spend on today's prize. And whilst there are lovely shops in Pezenas, sometimes they can be a bit expensive. But I do have a nose for a bargain, and I've just discovered this. It's a lemonade jug or a water jug, but look what makes it so different. It's got this hole here. And do you know what that's for? It's for putting ice in to keep the water or the lemonade cold. There's a whole history of ice and bringing of ice into the house. It started back in Georgian times when smart, rich people had their own ice houses in their garden. And the ice would come into the house in these rather elaborate, expensive pails of porcelain. Now, that prevailed right up to the 1900s, or certainly the early 1900s, before we had refrigerators. So it's quite easy to date this. It's either late Victorian or early Edwardian. Now, its condition is very good. There's not a chip or a nick on this. The price is about €200, a little over what I really want to spend, but still, I think it's worth considering.
In the cool of the evening when everything is getting kind of groovy, you call me up and
The great thing about Pezenas is the wealth of antique shops. I'm here in this beautiful antique shop full of French clocks, and I love French clocks. I also love the novelty of French clocks. Look at this beautiful late 19th century mystery clock. Now, why is it called a mystery clock? Well, in the late 19th century, people didn't really know how a clock like this worked. Well, I can tell you, it sits on 2 pins, on 2 rubies, in fact. Now, rubies have very low friction, which means a mechanism like this can go on working for days. Take a look at this. I could spend hours looking at a clock like this. Now, it's valued at around £1,000. Now, I think I would prefer something like this than an expensive wristwatch any day.
First I say no, I got some plans for tonight, and then I stop and say alright. Love is kind of.
I'm surrounded by all these fantastic French clocks, but there's one here that's really grabbed my attention. Now, I've been in the business 25 years and I've never seen a clock like this. It has no glass over the fascia and it's surrounded by all these little buttons. Now, it's dated around 1930 and it's a clock for blind people. Now, obviously, the blind person can feel the hands, and all these buttons around here are to set the alarm. It's priced around £125. That's real novelty.
I have found the prize for Helen or Rachel. It's this, a lovely, delicate and very feminine little picture frame. So the Art Nouveau period, this is about 1900, 1910, and it's in this lovely light brass. And I say light because reproductions, i.e. fakes of this period, and there are many, I have to say, are usually very, very heavy, very, very crudely done. Also, if I can just point out the back there, it's nicely worn. A reproduction is new at the back. Right then, time's up. That's the end of our shopping spree in Pezenas. We gave the girls £350 each to buy at least 10 items. Helen and Mark bought a total of 14 items. I loved the plaster bust of a medieval lady, beautifully made, and a snip at £32. I'm not so sure about this Art Deco desk lamp. It was only £17, but I can't see much of a profit. Rachel and Jonty bought a total of 11 items. The bell pull and mannequin were a big chunk of their budget, and I'll be very surprised if they get anything like £90 for that bell pull. Well, you just couldn't stop, could you? It's dark out there. You must be shattered.
Oh, absolutely. We shopped till we dropped.
I like the sound of that. And you, Rachel?
Thoroughly shattered, aren't we?
Well, it looks like you've bought some pretty nice things, though. Rachel, what's your favourite item you bought?
I think these, actually, these vases. Fantastic price.
Did you
as
pay a
well.
lot?
No, €50 the pair.
Very good. Jonty, what's going to make us the most money, though?
Well, I think it's going to be the lamp, the hanging lamp. It was a real steal at £70.
Excellent. Art Deco?
Yeah, very, very fantastic 1920s.
Very, very smart. Helen, how about you?
Well, this is my favourite piece, Chris. I absolutely love it.
That is really some lump of deco, Helen, isn't it?
Yes.
And a good price, I hope?
It was €50, I think.
No, just over 42, about 42 quid.
Fantastic. Mark, what's going to make your team the most money?
1 minute. It's not what's going to make us the most money, it's what's going to lose us the most money. This horrible bit of tack.
Mark, have confidence. It's different, for heaven's sake.
We had a row about this.
Did you?
Yeah, we
And
did.
you had your own way by the
I
looks
did,
of it.
Indeed.
Good for you, Helen. Well, we've got such a lot here. Now, all we've got to do is bubble it up. It's time to fly. A week has passed and we're back in Britain at Portobello Market in London. It's certainly no place for the shy and retiring. Helen and Rachel will have to pull out all the stops to sell their French goodies here. As always, there are thousands of people around today, so the girls have no excuse not to sell the lot.
Make sure if anyone comes and looks at it, you say, look, it's signed, you know?
Yeah.
Just make sure you get that bit in.
You didn't write that in, did you, 5 minutes earlier?
I did, but don't tell me.
All right.
It's a lovely thing, and they're sold purely as decorative items to hang on a wall. So that's what you're selling there.
Some lady went blind making that.
You think it's a monstrosity? I think I'm going to sell it.
I know you do. You think it's a bit of tat, but I've had a few people ask about it already.
It's horrible. I hate it.
Train when I'm out of sight. Just check yourself and say, yeah, you're right.
Morning, teams.
Morning.
We're bright and early. You're raring to go.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic. The store looks absolutely great. Now, I know you're clever buyers, but how good are you at selling, Rachel?
Really good.
Are you?
Yes,
Marvellous.
very keen.
I love that confidence. So bright and early this morning. My
Absolutely.
goodness me. That table, Mark, that's your favourite piece, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, Helen likes it. So, Helen, how confident are you that that's going to sell
I
today?
think that's going to sell.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you're going to have to sell everything here today and maximise all your profits if you're going to win my specially selected prize. Here we go, this lovely French picture frame in brass. It's Art Nouveau, absolutely lovely, for your loved ones.
Is that you, Chris?
It could be me, John. Or it could be you if you win with Rachel today. Anyway,
You could put a picture of that table in there.
I could, couldn't I?
It'll take-
Leave it forever.
it'll take anything. I won't hold you up. Enjoy the day, sell well, make loads of money. I'll catch up with you later.
Okay, see you later.
Portobello is London's premier antiques market. It takes place every Saturday and it's a heaving mass of tourists, Londoners, antique buyers and local characters. And the minute Mark's back is turned, you'll never guess what happens. There's interest in the detested table.
What's this? 20.
17.
Go on, 20. Make it around 20.
Come on, Helen, it's your big chance
Where's
to
she
prove
gone?
Mark wrong. That's the first sale of the day and a handsome profit of £4.
She's coming back for it later. First thing I've sold! Where's Mark Franks? You won't believe it. Guess what? The first thing is that I've sold.
No, don't. It's not, is it? Did a guide dog like it too? You didn't, did you?
Yeah, she loved it. Yeah, I know. Well, you eat your words.
Okay, where's my hat? I'll eat it. That's crazy.
It's not going on the fire after all.
Oh, that's a shame. Well done, well done.
The selling is underway and that is my cue to have a look around some of Portobello's other stalls and marvellous antique shops.
The first thing I like about this is the coloration, this lovely faded richness here. And the second thing is it's got great age. Now this is dated about 1830. This is called a stipple engraving, which was taken from the original painting. They didn't have photographic reproduction in those days, so what they did was to engrave. Now, the painter would have chosen the engraver, a good quality, talented engraver, to reproduce his original work.
There are plenty of shoppers around today. I just hope they're prizing open their purses at our stall.
Take 25?
I really like 30. Yeah.
Okay, 25?
30.
29?
30.
I'll give it a thought. I'm just across the way. All right, I'm just in there, so
Are you?
I'll give it a thought. All right?
Okay.
There you go. Okay.
Thanks very much. Best of luck with your...
At last, Rachel makes her first sale and a princely profit of £5.
Sale.
It's time for me to see how the girls are getting on.
Really?
Really chocker.
Hey, Rachel. Helen.
Hello.
Hi. You can hardly move. There's a billion
I know.
people here.
I know.
Have they all been coming here, though?
Some.
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 Sell something?
Yeah.
Sell something?
One thing.
One thing.
My table. My musical
kidding.
table.
That table that Mark loved.
You should have seen Mark's face.
I can imagine.
Oh,
I bet he hated you for that.
He did. It was an absolute picture, honestly.
That's fantastic. Listen, you've got loads of time left. People are still piling into the market, so I'll catch up with you later.
Okay.
Helen and Rachel have had a slow morning sales-wise. Perhaps these guys will jazz things up a bit.
Adoración que fue canto de amor y no de paz. Los momentos de dolor solo serán felicidad. No, no, que no, te digo adiós, estrellita del sur.
Looks like they've done the job for Helen. That's a whopping 56% profit on the medieval bust.
Campanas de bonanza repicarán mi corazón. Thank you.
Oh, bravo! Thank you very much.
Right, back to the job in hand. There's more to sell. Here's a potential buyer. I wonder what he's interested in.
My best price would be 20
20.
pounds. I'll wrap her for you.
Yes, please. Please
Yeah?
do that. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll take her. I'll bring her to Norway.
Oh, lovely. Okay,
You
that's
home.
great.
Thanks. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
£7.50, that's another good profit for Helen. In fact, Helen is absolutely storming it. The items are flying off her stand.
Move out.
Is this your store?
Yes,
Okay. Brilliant. This television,
Yeah.
obviously black and white.
It is 1970s. 20 quid. I can't say fairer than 20 quid.
Can I leave it here and collect
You
it
can
on my
leave
way
it
back
here,
up?
absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna have to go
you know,
Okay, I'm gonna go get some cash.
you're going to get some cash.
I'll see you in a sec.
All right then. See you in a minute.
A £5 profit, that surprised me. I never thought anyone would buy an old TV set.
What do you think of these, Esther?
Could the tide be turning for Rachel?
Art Deco.
How much is the purse?
£20. Except you could have it for 15.
I feel sorry for you because you've been put out in this climate.
Oh, no,
You obviously, no, I'm serious. This is a difficult thing for you because you're obviously not used to doing it. I'm going to pay you 15.
Yes!
Oh, thank you.
Helen's bonus item was well worth winning. It's earned her a cool £15. Well, I'll say one thing, there's no shortage of customers here today. The place is absolutely heaving.
No, I'm learning fast. Do you think I did well?
You did very well. I mean, for the next hour or so, we can carry on doing it that way, and then we've got to get our price down. But that's 15 quid pure profit, because that costs nothing. That's
Yeah, I
price,
know.
isn't it?
Fantastic.
Hi, how's it going?
Hello.
Hiya.
Slowly.
Well, there's still a fair bit left, but it looks like you've shifted a lot as well.
Yeah.
Excellent. Those prints are left, and that's left.
No.
Unbelievable.
I've sold a few of these.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Not all of them. Get them off. Now listen, you've got an hour left. You've got to think hard about how to get it all off the stand and money in your pockets at the same time.
Anything you fancy, Chris?
Quite a bit, but I won't tell you. I won't tell you till later. I'm holding on to my dash. You've got an hour.
All right.
Come on, girls, get those prices down.
1920s pictures, £10 each. £10 to go. 1920s pictures.
Time to employ all your charms.
Bye.
You didn't buy anything.
How much is your job?
15.
Do you want to take £5 for them?
Oh, huh? What about 10?
No, 5 will not go.
Rachel finally pulls it off, although at a £5 loss.
What about 7.50?
£5. Oh, that's it.
All right, okay, go on, do it. Deal. Sold.
You drive a hard bargain.
I'm not in this business for nothing.
Oh, well done, that lady.
Oh, they are hard, the people of Portobello.
Cheers. Cheers, darling.
Keep it together.
Here for one day only. Bronze, French, 1930s, signed by the artist. Little stocking filler, madam. Make me an offer on this lovely...
Blimey, Helen, things aren't that bad, are they?
30s. What will it take for somebody to buy something?
Maybe they are.
2 people can lift it.
But you need to repair it for me.
Will I what?
Repair it for me.
No, not for that money. No. I could put a bit of bubble wrap on it.
Anybody want to get one free?
Whilst Helen continues to slash her prices, Jonty is holding out for a profit on the Deco light shade. But are they convinced?
12 then.
£10.
Oh, yes,
£10.
12, come on, £12.
£10.
Please help me out.
£10.
12.
£10.
12. £12. And then with it, I
£12,
could go and get myself
okay.
a cup of tea with the £2.
So you need a light to come and
Yes,
then
to put all the
here.
cables
Yeah, yeah.
inside there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Ouch! £23 loss. That could make a big difference to the final figures.
There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well done, Jonty. Show him how it's done.
That's very kind.
Okay.
Great.
Good profit, Rachel. I think she might be turning the tables on Helen.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Art Deco lamp, £5. £5? Would you like it? Gotta sell it. So on then, 25, done. You have got such a bargain. I've sold everything! Thank you.
That was £20.
I think I'd like to kiss you.
The pressure's really on Rachel now. Everything's got to go at any price.
I know time's up. Thanks very much.
Thank you, bye. Sold. Done.
Give us a hug.
Nick of time. Nick of time. I've got very emotional.
Well, what a day that was. I can't believe it. Didn't they do well? Both girls made some fantastic profits, but some rotten losses too. Helen's biggest profit was the plaster bust, which made her a cool £18. Her most dramatic loss was the Deco dog and lamp, which together lost her £35. Rachel's greatest profit was the Deco light shade, which gained her £20. But those prints lost her £35, I'm afraid. So, from a starting budget of £350, let's find out how well our teams have done.
Well, that's what I call a bit of a last-minute rush, wasn't it? Mad or what?
I'm exhausted.
I bet you are. Even the tablecloth.
It's a feeding frenzy. It was a feeding frenzy.
It was.
This is what I call the minimalistic look. Nothing left.
No.
Fantastic. Have you enjoyed it, Rachel?
Yes, yeah.
Have you had a lot of fun, Helen?
Yeah, loads of fun.
That's what it's all about, having fun and making money. Brilliant. Well, you know, I've done today's totals, and the highest winner, let me get this out, will win this fabulous prize. Mark and Helen, you have taken £393.
Wow. Made a profit, well done.
Rachel and Jonty, you have taken £320. That makes you, Helen, the winner of this frame. Well done, congratulations. You don't have to put a photograph of me in there. You've both done very well, and we've had a lot of fun. That's all we have time for today. Thanks very much for watching, and join us again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.